quick unplanned video today because we have an awesome opportunity. We're in North Mississippi now, still greater Memphis area, but this hasn't even happened in Tennessee. Like, we have inches of snow, inches. However, because this is North Mississippi, nobody has sleds. But I realized with the shop build out, I've got some extra supplies. It's gonna be great. First up, I wanna say the only uncommon tool I'm gonna use is a conduit bender, but you don't have to have that. The alternative would be this same concept and idea would work with PVC pipe, and then you just have to buy fittings and glue it, which, I mean, if you're gonna make more than one, it'd probably actually be cheaper to just buy a conduit bender and conduit and do it this way. If you're gonna do two, probably gonna pay for itself. I'm going to try to keep this very quick. There's not going to be the usual music and montages and everything, just because I want to get this done, enjoy the day with my kids, and get this video out there. So you guys who want to do this can enjoy it with your kids too in the snow. Or yourself. I mean, sledding's fun. So the sled is going to be about 18 inches wide between the rails, and from end to end, it's like 43 inches. So that lets you cut an 8-foot board in half, 48 inches, and gives you some room to attach the strap hangers on the bottom to hold it together. My conduit bender has a 5-inch stub length. I'll just give you the dimensions I use for a bender with a 5-inch stub. All right, so I'm gonna mark 4 inches in from both ends. And one of the things I've learned handy with using the conduit bender is it's better to make your mark all the way around the conduit. That way, whichever way you have to orient your bender, you can see the mark. And I'm going to mark the middle of the conduit, nothing too crazy here. And then I'm going to mark, again, 4 inches away from that middle mark. Now we're going to take these marks, and that mark is going to go right where the arrow is on our bender. And then these first bends we're going to do, because we're going to make a rectangle, we're going to go all the way to 90. There isn't a mark for 90 because 90 is basically bending all the way. And there it is. You can see arrow and lines lined up with my mark. Big thing to remember is a conduit bender is not about using your arms. It's all on your foot. So you just stand on the little thing, use your hand just to keep everything straight. And we're going up to 90. Conduit tends to come back a little bit, so you have to bend slightly farther than you want to go, and it'll end up there. That's actually a little touch too much, but I can just tweak it by hand until good. Now I'm going to come to my other mark, do the same thing. So for the second bend, you want the handle in line with this. Now this is actually kind of handy. Really tricky thing bending conduit normally is keeping all your orientations the way they need to go. So what I'm going to do is just squeeze this so my handle's right against my conduit, and now I know these bends will be in the same plane, in line with each other. All right, now we have a U shape, pretty close to the same height. So I was off just a tiny bit, but not a ton. That's going to be okay. And I think this one's out a little bit on the mark. Now, again to 90. Okay, now unfortunately I can't keep this here to try to keep everything straight because it's going to be in my way. So I've got to go catty corner a little bit, which is not going to keep all my bends totally aligned, but that's all right. We can tweak it by hand. Okay, now you can see that I didn't quite get it perfect, which is all right that way. And also this direction, because the pipe it was in the way of itself. This one's coming up some, this one's coming down some. Nice thing is with just 1/2 inch EMT, we can tweak this by hand now. And as far as the overlap here, once I open it up, that actually brings everything square. It's just because one of those or both are slightly more than 90, so the ends are coming in together. All right, this one's down, this one's up, so I'll bend this by hand. The trick is not to just push here, because then I'm actually going to bend it down there. I need to hold it where I want it to bend. That way the bend happens where I want it to. Same thing here, I need to push this one down. So I'll hold here to make sure the bend happens here, not down there. Okay, pretty good. Now for the twist. So we're going to work on the twist same way. That way a little bit, and this one the other way a little bit. And again, nothing crazy. We just got this little thing that both ends slide into. It's got 2 screws, and we tighten those down. Okay, now everything's pretty flat and plain, but you can see I do have some wobble, and I imagine that the more in plane or flatter, however we need to describe it, this is, the better it's going to slide because it's going to have more even engagement with the snow. I don't know. I've only ever pretended to be an engineer, but it makes sense in my head. So, since these are my high ones, I need to twist this way, so we'll just give it some little adjustments. Okay, that was a little too much. Oh yeah, I can see it, so we'll just do this by hand. Oh yeah, this position works pretty well. Sometimes you just got to experiment, find out what positions work for you, what you like. We're looking good. Now for the next step, obviously this going down the snow is more of a plow than a sled, so we need to elevate the ends. I'm going to do some marks 5 inches away from this edge here. What would have made this easier, so when you do marks, don't just do 4-inch marks, do a mark at 4 inches and 9 inches, because 4 plus 5, the stub length is 9, and then that will be your start point for your next bends. I forgot to do that. Told myself to do that when I did the first one on this one, but okay, I've got my stub length marked on all the ends, which is where the curve begins. Again, if I'd marked from the center 4 and 9 inches, I would already have those marks. And from the end, when I did it 4 and 9 inches, we'd already have those marks. And again, we just make sure we hook our start point right there on that mark. And we're going to bend to 45 degrees, which is on the side of our bender. We just go till this line is level, and that's 45. That seemed to work out well on the first one I did. I tried 30, but it just wasn't enough. And if you're thinking, oh no, it's going to get all out of whack if we only bend, one side at a time, it works itself out, don't worry. Oh no, it's all wonky. It's okay, it's gonna work out. Just watch. All right, 8 quick bends and the frame is done. Now we're gonna make the deck. My board's actually longer than 8 feet because I didn't get out of the store, I just have this laying around. So I've got to mark at 8 to cut off some of the slop at the end. Make another mark at 4 feet. This is a little wide. This is 8 inches wide. My other one used a 1x6. That's ideal for kids. So this one will be for my older son, just because I don't want to clean off the table saw and rip this down narrower. It'll work fine. And then there will be one for my bigger butt. And a trick to cutting straight with the circular saw, use your speed square as a guide. The mark just gets me in the right place, and then the speed square keeps me straight. Now these edges might be a little sharp. My kids will be wearing gloves because it's got snow, but I want to round these over some. If you have a router and a roundover bit, that would work super quick. I'm just gonna use some 80 grit in the sander, or if you just use paper by hand, that'll do it. Just a little slower. This is absolutely extra and unnecessary, but one of the nice things about this project is even though it's pretty quick and rather inexpensive, I mean, this is definitely gonna be way cheaper than buying a sled. Equivalent would be is that there's no reason this thing can't last for years and years and years, which is great because who knows when it's gonna be that we see snow like this again. So I'm just gonna put some finish on this. My kids need to eat lunch before they come out and play anyways. I'm using Total Bolt Halcyon because I love this stuff. It's my go-to, which is why they're a sponsor. Thank you for always supporting the channel. And the other awesome thing about it, one of the things I love is this is gonna be dry well enough to use in like an hour. So if, you know, I went through my normal week-long finishing process that other products I use sometimes on like commercial builds require, then that'd be a hard no-go. But this is gonna be way more than adequate on some sleds, and it'll be ready in an hour. So why not? It's gonna look prettier, and I can throw it in the shed, not worry about it. If we pull these out again in 3, 4, 5 years, they'll be just fine. And just because the coupler sticks out a bit, I space the boards and then try to keep that gap even. And now we'll just screw it down. And of course, you know, make sure the ends of the board are even. Just to make it easier to hold on to, I've got some leather scraps and I'm going to use these to make some handles. You could always drill some holes to be handles, but I think this will just look a little nicer. And you could always drill a hole in the leather, but I've got a leather punch, so why not use it? And also unnecessary, but since I'm waiting on the finish to dry on the wood anyways, for longevity's sake, may as well go ahead and wax and condition these leather handles. Doesn't hurt anything. Of course, if I screw this flat, it's not going to be much of a handle, so I'm going to make sure we push it up some, give some slack there for a gloved hand. Okay, for a final touch, I've got some 550 cord, paracord, whatever you want to call it. Make a little tow rope for pulling it back up the heel. And I'm realizing if you wanted to make these a little classier, I could have, instead of centering the boards on the frame, slid the boards forward a little bit and like knock some 45s on the edges or something. Would look a little classier, but whatever. Whenever you mess with paracord, always make sure you burn the ends. Just to help keep this tow rope in place so it doesn't slide down the frame, I'm going to run it through, had to loosen the brackets so I can run them through these brackets. That way it stays in place. Good, and that's long enough that they can sit on it to keep it up. And it slid, even with my fat butt on it. But yeah, kids don't know what I've been up to, so time to make them go put on some winter clothes and see what they think. Give them a real test. But before we put these things in action, we'll do the formal outro. So hope you learned something, were inspired, or at least entertained. If you feel like I've earned it, please hit that subscribe button and the bell so YouTube lets you know when I actually make videos. Thank you so much to my sponsors and patrons. Until next time, make time to make something. Okay, open your eyes, look.
Nice! What? What? I got
this one. You turned hard. What'd you think, bud?
Okay.
What?
Look out, Daddy!
You really ready?
Yeah.
You're probably gonna hit me anyway.
Here! 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 Wow! Sorry!
It's okay.